Hello, everybody. Today I'm just doing a little vlog going over my thoughts on the TV series Marvel's Defenders. That was on Netflix. I watched all 8 episodes. Not necessarily on the same day, but I finished it yesterday. I'm already about halfway into Punisher, I think. But still, I'm going to go over Defenders, and I found it to be a very enjoyable series that was well done. That was a little too bad. It was 8 episodes, considering that the other series, with the exception of Jessica Jones and maybe some of Punisher, shouldn't have been 13 episodes for their seasons. But I felt that this could have been a lot more. Could have done some more pairing off segments of the characters of them being a group of 3, groups of 2s, some more of them being on their own, think about going back to the groups, and also definitely should have brought in more of the side characters. And sure, it was great to see Sigourney Weaver. She's an amazing actress. I love her in almost everything I see her in. And it's just that she's just introduced as just another villain just for this series. I mean, there's 3 villains that they introduced in here. And it's like there's no backstory at all, at least with Madame Gal. She's appeared in numerous times in Daredevil Season 1, 2, and also in the Iron Fist series, and the other guy who also appeared in the Iron Fist series. So they had character to him. People could connect to him if they saw those series. If anybody even watches Iron Fist, I regret doing that. But the other 3 that show up, they're there. Supposed to be big deals. Sigourney Weaver is the only one that has any star power behind her. This series, not only should they introduce the other characters more, say Sigourney Weaver as the last introduction, but this series should have been longer, more than 8 episodes for sure. Just that way we get to understand why we should care about these bad guys. I mean, it's great that we finally got the backstory of the Hand, finally, and I did kind of like what they were doing with that. And another thing I did like is that they went over to what the purpose was, that giant hole that was introduced in Daredevil Season 2 for 1 episode, or the end of 1 episode and the beginning of the next episode. But they revealed what that hole is for. They also, you can see all the little webbings between Daredevil Seasons 1 and 2, and also Iron Fist coming together here. It seems that Jessica Jones and Luke Cage don't really affect the story of the Defenders overall. It's just more of their character, of them, and also the environment that they're living in. Maybe there's bits of elements of Luke Cage that does tie in a bit more to Defenders that I might have missed. I gotta say, at the time when Luke Cage first came out, it's like my lowest ranking of the Marvel series. Not that it was bad, it just wasn't as good as Daredevil 1, 2, and Jessica Jones. But now I've seen Luke Cage, that's just the absolute worst. The worst. But I just haven't really given Luke Cage much thought after I finished watching it. So there might have been stuff in there I missed that connected better to Defenders. As for Jessica Jones, she says that, I remember that whole series that pretty much just follows around her demons, her friends, her villain. So that doesn't seem to have any real effect onto Defenders, except that it's Jessica Jones. Of course, Luke Cage is in it for a little bit, but he goes off to his own series after that. So Luke Cage's series is mostly about him. So yeah, they do go over the whole. One thing that they didn't go over, which I guess it doesn't really matter, but I wanted to know more, was at the end of the Styx episode of Daredevil Season 1. Styx talks to some guy with a lot of hair on his head and a lot of scars on his back. Talk about the war that was coming here in Defenders. And the guy with the scars on his back didn't say anything. He was just sitting there. But it's like, I just want to know a bit more about them. We get to know more about the organization in this series of Defenders. But not necessarily the guy, and not really that much about it, except that it exists, it had this purpose, and that's it. So, It's really about Defenders, but I just kind of wish that I knew more about that story a bit more, about their fighting, their group, and what, and apparently their leader disguised with the scars on the back. And I'm not spoiling about what's on the bottom of that hole that was shown in Daredevil Season 2, but I do wish I knew why that what was there, how to get there, why isn't that one location. Just, I mean, just no real reason for it to be New York except that these are characters that are initially based in New York in the comics. So they just had that there as it being there, when it could have easily been numerous parts of the world. But I did find that interesting. I do wish the ending was a bit different. Not what they did, just wish there was a little something else they could have added to it. And the series does end with sort of like a bit of a setup to both Iron Fist Season 2 and Daredevil Season 3, which teaser was released of that. And also, looks like that things are all set to go for Jessica Jones Season 2, which, for anybody who doesn't know, they were shooting Jessica Jones Season 2 and Defenders at the same time, so the actress was either went from one set to the next, or she was bouncing back and forth. And Luke Cage is off doing his own thing. So Luke Cage Season 2, he'll be probably back doing his thing. And I gotta say that characters are all very well. I gotta say it was great to see the actress and the character of Jessica Jones return. She was pretty much the highlight, I thought, of this whole series, as much as she was in her own series. Daredevil is doing his Daredevil thing, which he does well in his series and does it well here. He's just still being himself. And Luke Cage, I felt, was that his character was a bit more of the way I sort of thought he would be in this series than he was in the Luke Cage series. But I barely know anything much about Luke Cage. I must have read like a handful of comics that he appeared in. So I'm not really one to judge. I'm just giving my opinion of what I thought. And as for the Iron Fist, he is still a whiner. Pretty much, if they just added a bit more dialogue to this series, you could have just skipped all of Iron Fist, which I just say go ahead and skip all Iron Fist anyway. So, still a whiner. It was good to see all the heroes gang up on him at one point to beat him down, and also his fight between Luke Cage when they initially met. That was pretty awesome to see Luke Cage just beat him around for the start of the fight, and Iron Fist finishing it with the one punch. So it's just good to see that such a well-written character in his series is getting smacked down. But also found that he was actually a bit better well-written in this than he was in his show. Not that much, but then again, this isn't his show. It's a group effort of all the main characters, the side characters, and the villains. So we don't see much of Iron Fist, so that probably helped out a lot. I do wish they had a bit more cameos in here, but they didn't. Oh well, wish there was more stuff with side characters. You know, they help with the plot and the storyline a lot. And yeah, alright. It was an enjoyable series. Just wish there was more they did to it, and I wish there was more of it. And I like what they were doing with it. With Defenders 2, I do hope that they bring in more of the side characters, like Trish. She comes in as her, Hellcat character, and Misty Knight could play a bigger role. She played a pretty substantial role, I thought, in this at the end, but hopefully hopefully the side characters really step up, the ones that you know that will become heroes. And even though I'm still working on Punisher Season 1, or might be the complete series, I haven't seen the ending yet, maybe, okay, so he won't be in Defenders 2, but maybe they could do a cameo in the series leading up to it. But with how things are looking, by the time that we get close to Defenders 2, the fourth Avengers movie will be out, and that'll be the supposedly reboot movie. We'll see how that goes. So, Defenders might not exist. They might be different. They might still be the same. We'll see. So that's what I gotta say about the Defenders. It's a good series. Has a few hiccups. Should have been more. They could have done more. And now just wait here for Daredevil Season 3 and Jessica Jones Season 2. Since I assume Jessica Jones is done filming, and there's the teaser for Season 3 of Daredevil, I would assume that those will be coming up. One or the other will be coming up next. So, thank you for listening to me. I just want to get that off my chest. And if this was going to be a strictly Iron Fist series review, it would have been a lot of cussing. So, thanks for watching.